Hi everyone. Okay, so let's take a look at JavaScript objects. They're really neat to use. They make a lot of things um, very simple. Let's start with a little HTML file. Let's just save it as index.html and get a script tag here. Okay, so let's initialize an object here. So let's just say we're looking at maybe making an object of a person. So let's say const person, and that will be the person object right there. So we'll give the person a first name. So we simply say first name, and we'll say John. Last name will be Doe. Birth date. We'll go year, month, day. So 19. Let's say 81. December 01. Let's say they have a hair color of brown and an eye color of blue. Okay, so that right there, if we go console their person and just take a look at that for a second. So here's the object, and the object has all these variables inside. So instead of initializing different variables globally or in a function, we can just set up an object with all of these properties basically inside of it. Now that makes it easy too, because if we have, say, an array, you can have an array of objects, so you can have multiple people, or say you're tracking books, or game characters, maps, that kind of stuff. This can come in really handy. So let's initialize an array of people, for example. So we'll say people equals an empty array, and in there I'm gonna throw in, so we'll say push person. Okay, so that, if we look at people, that will give us an array with objects inside, and the first object is that person that we created. Now inside of objects too, you can add things like methods, and also store different variables like strings and numbers. So let's say this person has a bunch of apples. We'll say it has 3 apples. Let's write a function inside. So we'll say the person can also do an action, a method. So we'll say eat apples. So what is eat apples? It is a function, and inside of this function we can call the person object using this. So we can say this, and then the property apples, we can access the actual value of it. So we can say this apples equals this apples minus 1. So if you then actually, we'll just go here and we'll say person eat apples. If you do that, we should now see that the person has 2 apples. So you can actually change you can get it to change itself. So that's really handy for things like game characters, or if we're using SQL databases, and maybe storing a temporary state before we send that to the SQL, to the backend, or, call up a bunch of things from the backend database and maybe change a few things, let the user work with these objects, and then actually do the commit to the backend after we've done all of the changes. So it keeps things nice and tidy. We can also do things like, let's say, we can make a copy of it too. So you can say like const person2 equals person. So then person2, if we just say console log, or sorry, console dir person2. So person2 is basically just a copy of person. So you can see even the apples there are the same. Let's just go ahead and add a bunch of different objects to that people array, and I'll show you some other neat stuff you can do with it. So you can have, for example, say const person2. Let's just take all of this, and we'll do another one. So we'll have 3 different people. Okay, and we'll add person to oops. Okay, so we'll have person1 in there, and then let's get rid of that for a second. Okay, so we have the people, we have person, just keep it nice and tidy. Person 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to add person 1. Okay, we're going to add person 2, and we're going to add person 3 to people. Let's just make sure I didn't forget anything. Okay, so we have 3 identical ones. Let's go in and change these. So say person 2 is Michael Smith. He's got a different birthday, let's say 1980, 0101, and he's got black hair and brown eyes, or we'll say hazel eyes. Okay, he's got 5 apples. And person 3 will be Jennifer. We'll say Jennifer Johnston, and the birthday here is June 1st. She's also got black eyes, or sorry, black hair and hazel, and she has 7 apples. Okay, so we should have all of these separate people in here. So there we go. Let's take a look at all of them. So they all have different amounts of apples, different birthdays, different names, and some of them have different eye colors and hair colors. Now, let's say we want to know how many. So we have an array, and we can ask how many objects have a certain value. So like how many of them have, say, brown hair, right? So it should be 1 person. Or how many of them have black hair. So we can simply iterate through, and we can say, for let I equals 0, I less than people length. Then we'll say I plus plus. And we'll say if people I hair color equals, let's say we're looking for black hair. Oops. Then we'll say console log. We'll get the person's name, so people, I, first name. Okay, so that right there will give us, so Michael and Jennifer. Let's go ahead and confirm. So we asked how many people have black hair. So John does not have black hair, it's just Michael and Jennifer. Okay, and we can have a quick little counter as well. So you can say hair color count. We'll start with 0, and we can say hair count 1. And after running the iteration there, we can say console log people with black hair plus that. Okay, so people with black hair too. So we have 2 people with black hair. So you can see how this can be very useful for things like tracking, like I said, you know, databases, game states, you know, all kinds of different things like that. Okay, thanks for watching my video, and yeah, like and subscribe if you like what you see, and comment. Thank you. Bye.